All right, let's see if this works better. I'm going to try and stream with the correct stream here. So if you guys could confirm in chat that you're there and that you're seeing my screen. And the thing we're going to be talking about today is Argentina. I think it's highly underlooked at. I think it's the play for the future. I think that for a number of reasons, and we're going to go through a bunch of them here in a little bit. Just make sure if you guys could say something in chat. I know I got it working for a minute, but I want to make sure it's still good with the correct stream. So please let me know. Also, we're not streaming on X right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and do it just with YouTube because I'm having an issue simulcasting and getting the appropriate settings to where on X it's only going to subscribers. So I'll actually upload the X one later until I figure that out. It looks like Oak is here, so we got somebody here. This is good. We got people coming in. So without further ado, I will get started. So the thing I've been posting about a lot today on X, if you don't have a membership, make sure you get one. $5. I actually prefer people to have that one versus YouTube. Again, you got to figure out the publishing and all that. But I've been talking a lot about ARGT. This is the big global X MSCI ETF fund for Argentina. And I'm going to make the case right now. All right, everybody's coming back. Hey, guys, I'm going to make the case right now on why I believe this is probably the best performing country-based ETF on the planet in the years ahead for many, many years. So without further ado, let's get started. So this right here, I just got pissed at this article. I said this article is a complete farce. It dismisses what was needed to break the out of control inflation for Argentina. This country's on the cusp of greatness, and so if we jump in here, this is an article. It says Argentine Times. It says poverty climbs to 52.9% in Argentina, affecting almost 25 million people. Now, again, if you have a 250 to 300% inflation rate and you try and fix that the right way, yes, the definition of who climbs into poverty will go up. And so the Financial Times, again, has this big like, oh no, Argentina's failing. Look at Javier Milei. Argentina's poverty rate has exceeded 50% under Milei. It's worst in 2 decades. It's just bullshit noise. Ignore it. It's garbage. Here's what's really happening. So I said this is an insane chart. Again, buying this ETF seems like a no-brainer in the years ahead. This country was set to surpass the USA back in the early 1900s, but failed because of the path they took. The path was towards socialism. My bet is that now it's their opportunity to thrive. And if you look here, this just shows the inflation rate of Argentina month over month and what's happened to it. You could see how it was out of control. It was just climbing to crazy numbers. And then with Argentina, with Javier Milei coming into power and wiping out large swaths of the government, and lowering the money printing, trying to basically pull away from their currency and the pesos and get into U.S. dollars has been painful. But look at this break. Look at this break in month over month inflation, and look at what's happened to their stock market ever since. This is the real signal, not that other bullshit article that's reposted from the Financial Times. That is fucking trash. This is what's really happening in this country. And I want to read a little blurb here that Intel Arb has. He said, Western media is purposely avoiding talking about Argentina, ? He said that this indice is at all-time highs. It was the best performing country-based ETF for 2023 on this planet. Okay? It's probably going to be that way again this next year, or this year in 2024. But nobody's talking about it. It's stupid. They're talking about India. They're talking about buying in China again, all these other things, these old-ass plays. And I'm going to show you why this one is so much better. But it says inflation at 2-year lows, month-over-month basis. As of today, Malay is a success story. Don't let the West that's gutting, don't tell the West that gutting governments and discretionary spending might solve inequality. I 100% agree with this post. Also, so let's look here. Dr. Eli David said elections have consequences. First week with no food price inflation in 30 years for Argentina. 30 years. This is the first time their food inflation has actually disinflated and is going down in cost. It's deflationary at this point. This is huge. If you guys are excited, hype up the chat. Let's keep going. All right. So I said the country's very undervalued. Of course, I've been saying that. Even if you calculate in the much lower population, there's about 45 million people in Argentina right now, depending upon the numbers and where you get them. That's 129th the population of an India or a China. So you can't like say these are like for like, right? But even with that, even if you factor in it's 129th the size of China and India individually, you still see that the valuation of their entire Latin American Argentina related ETF is dismal in comparison to just one of the China ETFs and one of the India ETFs. There's many more than this that add up to much bigger numbers. But if you look here in the millions, this one is 400 million for valuation. It's fucking stupid. And look at the trillions that are sitting down here in just these two funds for China and India, okay? Just two funds. And India's is 11.8 trillion and China's is 4.6 trillion. So again, population much smaller, but in comparison, this fund is nothing. It is nothing. It could go so much higher. So much higher. And again, year to date performance on this one, it says 32.78%, beating China, beating India. Markets, I believe, that have much higher valuations. I do believe India is going to do well, but they've got a lot of internal problems and they've got a lot to fix. And again, I think they'll do well. But if you look at, if you know this from me, guys, you know that the small caps can return the much greater multiples. Argentina is the small cap of the world right now when it comes to ETFs, in my opinion. And these numbers help reflect some of that. Also, Abril, she's from Argentina, and I actually might try and get my buddy Alejandro on here too. I know he did an interview with Haley Eilick, I want to say her last name is, not too long ago. He is living in Argentina. I don't know if he's always there, but he can probably give us some real boots on the ground response in regard to Argentina. But I just want to give you her perspective. She says, if you want to invest in a country that has the full potential to become great again, this is Argentina. It's got amazing cuisine, best steak in the world. Probably trivial towards our investment, but let's keep going. We have Patagonia, beautiful mountains, ski resorts, hiking for the summer, diverse nature in general, big tech scene and talent, a lot of amazing companies coming from Argentina, founders teams, Vercel, Auth0, Open Zeppelin, etc. Capital city with a beautiful European architecture and fun nightlife. You don't think of this when you think of Argentina, do you? Great for hackers and remote workers. Coffee shops open till really late, 9 p.m. and restaurants as well. I really miss my country since I moved, but wanting to keep reminding people how beautiful it is. This is Argentina. Now, don't get me wrong. This is like, obviously, you can see the French influence. You can see the European influence. Lots of Central and South America have this. But this is when this country was great. And if you look here, do you think Argentina when you look at these photos? I mean, do you think Argentina when you look at these photos? This is that country. And the resources that Argentina has available to them are astronomical, man. They're some of the best. Yeah, hey guys, how's it going? Buy a vacation home in BA. Andy's house is back. All right, everybody came back. Robbie Kane, do you expect a lot of gains to be created from the top few companies? Yes, I do. I think the index will grow substantially. And I think they'll have newer ETF options too down the road, and that you can benefit from investing in those. They'll probably divide them out and have like tech sector based ones. They'll start to really divvy it up. I can't find really much of anything right now because again, this country's been in a malaise for 100 years. They literally, you guys got to understand the history of this country. This country was richer than the United States. And people thought it was going to surpass the USA in its growth 100 years ago. And they leaned towards socialism and their economy fell apart. This country could be the USA. They have an amazing geographic location. They're rich in natural resources of all kinds, food, minerals, lithium. That's something we're going to be talking about in a minute too. And again, the human capital is good and they're actually pretty well educated for the most part. This could be one of the best countries in South America to live in, I think, in the not too distant future. And I think the growth here is going to be just amazing. This post is actually It says Argentina once again surpasses Brazil in soybean meal exports. So exports of food are exploding in Argentina. We'll look at some of the economic data in a little bit, but this is actually one of the greatest. Again, one of the greatest places on earth. It's very much like the United States, where they have a bread belt and they have all these natural resources that are amazing, and you got to pay attention to it, guys. Yeah, let me get caught up in chat again. Pete said, man, $75 strike for April 2025 can yield 700% on a move of $100. Worth it? Realistic? That asymmetry we talking about. Are you talking about with this one? I don't know. I haven't looked at the options chain. I really need to figure out what the growth cycle is going to look like on this one. It's already ran a lot. Mark Bentley says, happy Sunday, Manny247. Hey, guys. Oak, wow, beautiful country. Brian Thurm, just saw Jesse was spontaneously streaming. Yep. I wanted to do some research on Argentina and Micron, and I'm getting Argentina done today. Micron will probably be coming out tomorrow. But this is exciting times, guys. Why do you think, don't get me wrong, Elon's probably meeting with Javier Milei because he definitely wants to talk to countries that are pushing capitalism and that are free. But this is a business deal, too. This is very much a business deal in my mind. Stellantis, just this last year, Stellantis tried to lock in lithium extraction and refining from Argentina. They've got a massive stockpile of this stuff, right? So I think, this is speculation on my part, that Elon Musk is also working with them to figure out how to do a lithium mining extraction and refinement, probably via Tesla, at least the refining portion, just like we're doing in the United States, with this country, so that they can start locking in resources that are much closer and demographically viable than trying to get stuff from China, where politically we're seeing things getting worse, and they're not going to get better, I think, under either presidency. So I think that there's a deal going on here. And again, imagine the news and how it breaks for Argentina if you've got a Tesla factory, even just for lithium and refining, opening up in this country. I think it could be huge. Johnny Utah said, I want to expat to Argentina. Super affordable against the dollar. It's an amazing place to visit. I've never been there. I want to go. My buddy Alejandro that runs Visual Stocks, he's there too. I'm trying to make as many connections as I can because I definitely want to check this country out. El Salvador is great. It's probably going to be a Bitcoin capital. It's going to be a great thing. But the idea of being able to be invested in Argentina, a country that just is realizing how beautiful capitalism is and who is embracing it wholeheartedly, I think is going to be huge. But we got a lot to talk about. Let's move on. All right. Oh, I said, I'll be making a member video. Okay, let's jump into here, though. This is where I wanted to go. I said, in what ways does Argentina have the potential to excel? So it said, in a number of them. It said, based on various economical, cultural, and natural resources. It goes agricultural. Argentina has a strong agricultural sector, being one of the world's leading producers of soybeans, maize, wheat, and beef. Its potential in agriculture isn't just in raw production, but also in value-added agriculture products, organic farming, and leveraging technologies for precision agriculture, because they don't have that all across the country. Energy sector, Argentina possesses, so just think about their yields, they can get better. Energy sector, Argentina possesses vast natural resources, including significant reserves of oil and gas. Additionally, it has one of the world's largest shale gas reserves in the Vaca Muerta formation. I probably butchered that. The potential for growth in renewable energy, especially wind and solar, is substantial due to its geographical advantages, like that of Patagonia wind corridors. So from an energy perspective, this is just as vast and rich as the United States. So again, just beautiful, beautiful setup here, guys. And while we're pushing away from capitalism and democracy, or it sure feels like it, they're embracing it. Mining. The country has rich mineral resources, including lithium, kind of important, which is crucial for batteries and electric vehicles and electronics. Argentina's lithium triangle could position it as a key player in the global shift towards electric energy storage. Doesn't that seem like a big deal in the future? Technology and innovation. There's a growing tech scene in Argentina, with Buenos Aires being a hub for startups and tech companies in Latin America. The country could excel further by fostering education and technology, promoting entrepreneurial ventures, and attracting international tech investment. I think all those things are going to start coming in the years ahead, guys. Again, remember how tiny the AUM, the assets under management, is in this fund. It's like 400 million. It's fucking baby shit. Tourism. Argentina's diverse landscapes from the Iguazu Falls to Patagonia and its cultural attractions like tango, wine tourism in its vibrant cities offer significant potential for tourism. Sustainable tourism could be a major growth area capitalizing on natural beauty while preserving ecosystems. Says 6, human capital. Historically, Argentina has had high education levels, producing skilled professionals in various fields. If the human capital is properly harnessed through policies that encourage innovation, research, and development, Argentina could excel in sectors requiring high intellectual input. I also believe that you could see, instead of just seeing a bunch of Hispanic people in Central America and South America trying to run to the United States, what happens if they start running to Argentina because opportunities abound? This is a huge swath of land that only has 45 million people on it. I could see the numbers getting much, much larger in the decades ahead. Cultural exports. Argentina's culture, including its literature, music, not just tango, film, and sports like football, has global appeal. Enhancing cultural exports can not only bring economic benefits, but also increase Argentina's soft power. Soft power is like influence through culture. Think of it that way. Economic reforms. Recent discussions on X and an economic analysis suggest that if Argentina continues with its economic reforms, like those mentioned by President Javier Milei, focusing on liberalization, reducing state intervention, and stabilizing the economy, there's potential for substantial economic growth and investor confidence. I agree with all of that. Sports, soccer, yada, yada, good team. Manufacturing and industry, while facing challenges, there's potential in revitalizing manufacturing sectors, particularly in areas like automotive, aerospace, and pharmaceuticals, if competitive advantages can be created through innovation, reduced costs, specialization. Wouldn't it be amazing if SpaceX put a location in Argentina to be able to shoot up rockets? I mean, I don't even know if they could do that. There's probably stipulations with the U.S. government that would prevent it. But who knows in the future, man? We could definitely see great things coming from Argentina. So let's keep going here, though, because that's not even all of it. Let's look at economic data, too. So, and we'll keep running around here. Yeah, I'm excited about the opportunities here, man. Maradona is the GOAT. Who is Maradona? Is that the place? Or is that a thing? I don't know. I don't know who Maradona is. Hook me up. I'm still kind of new to all this. Dario says, I remember Jesse saying that you had removed the ads on YouTube. Even now, I can still see it. Oh, shit, I might have. Really? I thought I did. Let me just double check here real quick. I did remove them, but maybe I fucked up on this one. I had an issue starting it. Yeah, I did fuck up on this one. I don't know if I can turn it off right now. Let me try. It says off now. God, why did it says that for the one tonight, too, with the Bitcoin recap. All right, so I turned it off now, so hopefully they die. Hopefully they didn't die. I had some issues getting this stream started earlier, but you should be good now. All right, let me see here. Argentina has 4-year presidential voting cycles like the U.S. Milei was elected in 2023, so 2027 will be the next presidential election. And I actually think that he's going to be. I think when you push out 2.5 years from now, or 2+ years from now, you're going to see a much better Argentina and an easy election for him. Ralph, love it that you're picking up on Argentina. I really am getting excited about it, man. Legend. He's a legendary soccer player from Argentina, I'm assuming. Cool. Oak, I don't see any ads, but I pay for premium. Yeah, it should be fixed now. What's the best ETF? I think it's in Argentina. It's ARGT. It's sitting right at the top here, guys. I think that's the best one. Milei will win again. I agree. All right, let's keep going. So Argentina's industrial production looks like it's set to recover with significant outperformance versus expectations since last month. So you can see this bounce, right? They had the COVID doldrums. They had the huge uptick, mostly because of inflation. If you look at this huge line, that's mostly inflation. And then you can see what's happened since. Just going down, industrial production plummeting. So they had high inflation and production was just sucking across the country. But look at this. This is hopeful. Industrial production in Argentina fell by 5.4% year over year in July 2024, marking the 14th consecutive month of contraction, but showing improvement from the sharp 20.1% decline in June. Most major sectors continue to deteriorate, though at a slower pace, including other equipment, devices, and instruments. So if you look here, it dropped by negative 6.8% in instruments versus the 37.4% in June. Machinery and equipment, and this also beat expectations substantially for this last month. Machinery and equipment, negative 8.9% versus 28.2% in the previous month. Manufacturing, negative 17.6% versus 36.3%. Oil refining, coke, and nuclear, negative 5.1% versus 13.9%. Basic metals, negative 16.9% versus 33%. And wood and paper publishing and printing, negative 17% versus 24.2%. In contrast, food and beverages rebounded with a 5.9% increase, recovering from an 8.3% decline on a seasonally adjusted monthly basis. Industrial production rose by 6.9%, following a 1.6% decrease in the previous month. So that's just when you seasonally adjust, this is a 6.9% increase. This is showing recovery, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it in the future, but we're going to go over a bunch of stuff here. All right, let's keep going. Let's go down here. So I put inflation, albeit is very high. Didn't quite finish my thought. Is disinflating at a very fast pace while the country recovers from massive amounts of money printing throughout their history. Note this country has defaulted on their debts over 9 times in the last 100 years. So every 10 years, roughly, this country had to default and start over again. And so the central banks of the world had to give them money, right? And hold them by the nutsack with high interest rates. I go, and this is the only time they've taken the hard path of actually reducing spending and leaning in towards capitalism. So again, if you look here, you could see how the rapid increase in the rate of inflation, and now it's going down, and it's going down measurably. And month over month, it has already been broken. Let me just go back to this other slide here, guys. Month over month, the inflation is broken. It just needs to cycle out over this next year to start showing that. But the numbers are looking really good, the best that we've seen since 2022. And these numbers can get a lot better, a lot better. They'll probably be still in double digit for a while, but this is getting better all the day. And some of that inflation rate will just be because their GDP increases. But I just wanted to, again, looking over here, it says on an annual basis, consumer prices surged 236.7% in August, marking the 4th month of disinflation and the year's softest increase, down from 263% in July and broadly in line with forecasts. So again, this is good stuff. This is what we want to see. Unemployment and employment data is also very stable and improving despite the massive break in inflation over the last year I put. So if you look down over here, it says the unemployment rate in Argentina fell to 7.6% in the second quarter of 2024, down from 7.7% in the previous period and below estimates of 7.9%. Meanwhile, the employment rate rose to 44.8% from the 44.3% in the previous quarter, and the labor force participation rate increased to 48.5% from 48%. So we're seeing employment increasing, we're seeing labor force participation getting better, and we're seeing unemployment coming down. This is all good stuff, guys. All good stuff. Let me roll down again here. So the economic activity, I put is coming in better than expected. If you look over here, you can see how we're almost towards positive numbers on economic activity. I put Argentina's economic, or I should say this says this, Argentina's economic activity estimator dropped by 1.3% year over year in July of 2024, improving from downwardly revised negative or 4% contraction in June and beating market expectations of a 4.1% decline. So this thing was supposed to decline by 4.1%, and it barely declined at all. The decrease was primarily due to slower growth in transportation and agriculture, livestock, hunting, and forestry. But again, the previous numbers, look at these numbers, 82.4% versus the 23.6% that we got this time. So I would say that this is still a vast improvement, and it's getting ready. This isn't just an oscillation move. This is like actual growth we're going to see. Then it says on the positive side, utilities rebounded 3.6% versus negative 3.4%, and growth in mining and quarrying accelerated 5.7% versus 4.6%. Additionally, the contraction eased in construction. It was negative 14.8% versus negative 23.6%. and manufacturing was negative 5.6 versus 20.4%. Seasonally adjusted data showed a 1.3% increase, while the trend cycle indicator recorded a 0.3% decline from the previous month. This is good stuff, guys. This is all great stuff. Let's keep going down the list here. See what else we got. Oh, I got to probably go out one. Let me get over here real quick. Let me refresh this. Let me go back, make sure we have everything here. Make sure I don't miss any. Yeah, throw out any questions you guys have. And I will have to go in a little while, and this is just going to be Argentina-based, guys. I'm doing another one this afternoon that's going to be Bitcoin, crypto, and all that other stuff. I do want to just hone in on this again, guys. Look at this. This is in China. This isn't the only ETF, right? This is just one sitting at, what, $4.6 trillion in millions. And then here's another one in India. iShares ETF. Just look at the dollar value on this. Just a beast. Look at the volumes on it compared to Argentina. It's just a baby in comparison. Let's roll down, though, and make sure I didn't miss any slides. Oh, yeah, here's another one. I said the country had their... Let me just jump in here. I said the country had their best account surplus in over 15 years and the second highest since they started recording data back in 1976. Argentina recorded... Let me just zoom in. Argentina recorded an account surplus of $3.49 billion in Q2 of 2024, a sharp reversal from the $6.58 billion deficit in the same period last year. The goods account shifted dramatically to $7.12 billion surplus from a $2.03 billion deficit in Q2 of 2023. Meanwhile, the services gap narrowed to $1.1 billion from $1.58. Additionally, the primary account deficit narrowed slightly to $3.24 billion from $3.53, while the secondary account surplus grew to $716 million from $561, highlighting overall improvement despite some pressures. So again, they've got a pain train in front of them, but they're doing a great job working through it. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to highlight. But yeah, so I'm very excited about this play, guys. I think it's incredibly underlooked. And again, this is the place. This is Argentina. Not that they don't have barrios and a lot of problems, right? Massive. Not that by the definition of poverty do they not have, more than 50% of the people that are in that right now. That's totally legit. That's what happens when you break the cycle of inflation. But look at this country and think of what it could become. With them embracing capitalism, can you think of any country that has the ability to grow the way this one does, with all their natural resources, with the breadbasket that they have, with all of the resources for lithium and metals and all this other stuff? Can you think of another country that can explode the way this country can? And again, if we look over here at this ETF seems cheap in comparison. This thing, when it went live, was $31, right? $31, and now it's at $67. That was in 2011, okay? This thing's barely fucking went anywhere. It can go much, much higher. And it's got a dividend. It's got a 1.12% yielding dividend. And let's see what it's done here. Let's see what it's done since the base right over here. So it bottomed in August of 2024. Jesus, just in its recent bottom. That's crazy. How much has it went up since then? So this is one, guys, where I'll be DCAing in, and then when it has massive downturns, I'll be buying the shit out of it. Okay? This is something, as I make money in other investments, I want to diversify to other things. Micron will be one of those. You guys will see that in an upcoming video, probably tomorrow. And Argentina will be another one. I will diversify into these plays because this could literally grow and grow and grow despite what's going on in the rest of the world because of the reforms that are currently going on in this country. And so you could see, and you got to remember, he's also pro-Bitcoin. He's a pro-Bitcoin president. He might not have taken the drastic measures that Bukele has taken, but I don't think he could. His country's too large. I don't think he could just go to Bitcoin as a reserve asset and another currency that could be used in the country. Now, that doesn't mean he won't in the future. But let's just look here, guys. Let's go back to what it was at in the pandemic low. So you would have made 378% on this from the pandemic. And more recently here, in the last year, you would have made almost 80% from where we were at the low of October of 2023. So I think, guys, this is the ultimate steady Eddie. I think this is one where this country, as long as it continues to go down the path it's going down, would be a great diversification play and one I want to add more to. Let me see here. Let me get caught up in chat. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys have any comments, if you have any disagreements, throw them out. Aaron C., what's the best? Oh, I already said that. It's easy Kodak. Wow, Jesse, you're going crazy with your X subs. Just signed up. I got a lot to go through. Yeah, a lot of this was about Argentina just today, but I plan on doing most of my posting on X. That'll get synced over to Discord, and then also again, you'll be able to catch things on YouTube. Right now, I'm streaming on YouTube, but then I'm going to upload this thing to X. I can't dual stream at the same time and still have it just be subscribers. So I might figure that out. I might end up we'll have to see. Maybe I'll end up exporting or just doing the stream non-live and then pushing it out to X and YouTube at the same time, and only members will see it. But I'll upload the one to X here in a little bit. Let me keep going down here. Manny247, Jesse, what happens when he becomes the new Switzerland, Ireland, etc. for big business? Dude, I could totally see that. We make shit tons of money. We made shit tons of money, Manny. I mean, I could see. I see Argentina as having this perfect setup. I see it from so many avenues, guys. So many avenues. Again, when I was reading this off over here, I mean, look at this. Inflation is broken, and look what's already happened to the stock. Then if we just go back over here again. Log's first week with no inflation in food in 30 years. Okay? Extremely cheap asset, in my opinion, right now. And then again, if we go back over here, where was it? And their exports are increasing, and I could see that. I could see Elon signing a deal with them. And again, just going over to this bullet point list from Grok on everything that this country has going for it. And it's not even all of it, guys. Like, let me see, map of South America. So let me do this real quick too. So everybody thinks about Brazil and there's rainforest all over it, but look at Argentina, guys. Look at Argentina. Look how big it is. This is definitely a country that could have massive benefit. And think about this. Think about this. Without having to go through the Panama Canal, they could literally export stuff if they want to go over to the other side, the Pacific. They could export stuff through Chile and then get it out. Or they could ship it out here from Argentina themselves and have one of the most massive ports in the world in the not too distant future. So guys, there's so much opportunity here for Argentina. It is a big ass country. I don't think people realize how much larger it can get in population and how much they can tap into the resources within it. I just see huge opportunity here. Imagine that, not even having to pay fees on the Panama Canal, just maybe a train across to Chile, work with them to develop a huge port, export that shit out that way, and then from maybe Buenos Aires or another major port, export it out over here. It just seems brilliant. It seems really exciting. Oak, these numbers compared to where they were is amazing. Dude, they're so much better. Oak, industrial and food and beverage. Nice. Silas, hello. Frank, how's Argentina with taxes and how do they treat BTC? So before, they were a socialist dictatorship, communist. I mean, I can't say dictatorship. They were socialists for like 100 years, on and off, trying to do reforms. There was nobody in that history in 100 years that's been like Javier Milei. Their taxes are actually quite reasonable, and he's pro-Bitcoin. He's actually an economist. He lived as an economist, but he doesn't love Keynesian economics. And so that's why he wanted to fix the inflation rate, because he was pissed off that his country was had like 100 different departments they didn't need. And so he's got this, if you look at the image on here, he's got the whole like chainsaw thing, and he was taken out. Yeah, I mean, he is Elon Musk, but for countries. So he is what I hope Donald Trump will be if he ends up getting elected, okay? So he's a good dude, and again, his term doesn't even expire till 2027, and he's already turning their economy around vastly. Again, guys, this chart, you don't see this kind of stuff without them defaulting. You don't see that without a country defaulting. This man overnight and by overnight, I mean like a year, is fixing this fucking country. And that is insane. That is an insane pace. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely fucking beautiful. Dario, what is the plan for buying ETF? I'd probably just ETF for now. If we have some kind of, so you got to realize this thing can fluctuate, right? So it's done really well. I'll buy the ETF, but if we have times where it's not crazy, if we just look here, guys, and eventually I'm gonna have to boogie because I've got lunch plans with the mother-in-law and the wife and kid. But if we just look here, guys, and we draw a couple of these, like look at that drop right there. Oh, let me kill that. Sorry. This drop right over here, just from here down to here, 24%. And let's do that again. Let's draw one from here down to here, 21%. Let's look over here, 36%. So you could see where there are decent, and I don't think the drawdowns are going to be as big. I think they're probably going to be in the 20s. But when we get drawdowns like that, I'm going to start DCAing this next week. But when we get drawdowns that are substantial in this indice, I will be adding more and more to it. I would like to get my allocation to Argentina over 6 figures by the beginning of the year. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'll be looking to apply towards Micron too. I'll make a separate video on that and kind of my thoughts on that. But Argentina is the one I'm most excited about because I just think the country is getting ready to have a golden age, and you don't see that very much at all. You don't see that very much, and you want to benefit from that. Again, this country just since July of 2022. So what is that? A little over 2 years. This country-based ETF would have made you 187% with dividends, maybe closer to 200. So it's a huge deal, guys. I love it, and I will get this added too. I'll get this added under the stocks. I think I might already have it in the Discord. Let me see if I already added it. I did not. I will. I'll add one in here too. I might make a separate ETF section. I think that would make sense. So I'll do that. But yeah, guys, this is just super exciting. Most effective way to invest directly in the country. I think ARGT is the best way to invest in the country. I don't know directly. I wouldn't buck around with direct right now. Argentina is the 8th biggest land surface in the world. 30% of the U.S., 80% of India. So huge and beautiful. Yeah, thank you for that fact. That's great, Ralph. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's a huge opportunity, and it's resource rich across the board, guys. Thank you. If you guys could hit the like too. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we're doing a members only video, but it's still good either way. Let's see here. Argentina has expressed pro-Bitcoin sentiments per Grok. Yeah, totally. I've listened to Javier Milei talk about it. I've been following Milei for a while because I loved his just representation on freedom. I don't know why the fuck I didn't think. I just wasn't really focused on. Again, I was talking about like, hey, I need to look at some international exposure, but I think with the expansion of money supply over the next couple of years, or the next year and a half at least, globally, that Argentina will be probably the biggest benefactor of that. And again, the history that we already looked at, just over in, where was it, that slide? Right here, 32% year-to-date gains, right? 78% in a year-over-year standpoint that this thing is up from its low. And it's beating China's ETF, and it's beating India, and it will outperform. I think it's probably a 2x multiplier to those, maybe more. And I think it'll be much more consistent. So I really love this play. And again, like Ralph said, Argentina has the 8th biggest land surface in the world. Just less than 30% of the U.S. and 80% of India's. So it's huge. And like we saw in these screenshots, guys, it's beautiful. And not just from the hottie here. Look at that. Don't tell admin wife. But she knows I got a thing for Latin women. She is one. So, but like, just look at this. You never would think of Argentina being this, but it is. There's areas that are absolutely beautiful. And they're embracing capitalism. You can't ask for more. Needs55 says, afternoon all. Dario, what is your opinion on the most effective way to invest directly into the country, whether it's land or condos or houses? It's not expensive. I don't know yet. I think I'll figure that out more. This ETF is like, again, a way for me to kind of get my my feet wet and to really start to spend time understanding this country. I've already spent a lot of time following Javier Milei, so we'll see. I'm sure I'll get more of that over time. Plus, my buddy Alejandro, guys, that runs visualstocks.com, that site I always pull up, he lives there, so we can probably ask him too. I probably should have told him to come on here. Ralph, Jesse, Google the Iguazu Falls. They're the most amazing natural spectacle I've ever seen. Breathtaking. Yeah, sure. Let me copy real quick here. I can do that. Iguazu. All right, I'll try to. Let's see here. Go over here. Go over here. Paste. Falls. All right. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Kind of reminds me of here in the States, but it's beautiful. Jeez, it really is. Yeah, there's so much. Again, guys, there's so much natural richness and beauty and wealth that can be created in this place. It's amazing. Silas, here building a rail and highway link over the Andes, I think. Awesome. Michael Quinn, what percentage of your portfolio do you anticipate allocating? I don't know. I'm trying to get to six figures. That wouldn't be a crazy percent, but I'll let you guys know. Again, I'll show you the portfolio allocation. I've got to update my portfolio. I'm going to probably do that tonight or tomorrow morning at the latest, and I'm going to try and get my crypto stuff in there too, so you guys will get an idea of portfolio allocation a lot better. But I'm looking at buying this next week. If Tesla and maybe a PayPal or some of these others continue to outperform and do really well, I'll be nibbling off some of that, and I'll be putting it inside of ARGT. All right, Twill, lineman for hire. Good luck on the trade. Too much corruption in Argentina for my portfolio. Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at the past, you can do that. I'm looking towards the future, and Javier Milei is like the best thing that could happen to that country. And if you want somebody who can end corruption, just take the guy who hacked out 80% of the government. Brian Thurm, Argentina women are beautiful too. I believe it. Twill, 100% with 100% inflation. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, Twill. Silas, it's embarrassing Argentina was taking constant IMF renegotiations on money. Yeah, again, they failed. They've defaulted 9 times in 100 years. That's like once every 11 years they defaulted. And they haven't been able to control inflation, and now they're getting in their house in order in amazing ways. Plus, you got to realize Javier Milei has been talking to President Bukele a lot, and Nayib Bukele has been talking to him about how to crack down in the region, and they've been doing that too. So, like the talks of corruption, if you're in a gang or you're a troublemaker in Argentina, man, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. So I think that's good too. I think one of the main things you have to have for a prosperous civilization is security. And like now, look at the United States. We're losing ours, and look how great it's turning out for us. Ralph, it's absolutely amazing that employment is already stabilizing or even improving. They're going through a massive chemotherapy and a depression. Much worse would be normal. Yeah, they're honestly, I would consider them on the uptick. Again, there's going to be pain and suffering, especially from people that were on the government payroll list. There's definitely some redistribution that happens there because they're stabilizing the inflation. They're not working with the IMF to try and get bailouts. They're trying to fix themselves from within, and it's not easy. But I do think that that investment it'll be one of the most prosperous on earth. Imagine if you could invest in America when it was just coming up. Imagine that. Ralph Hildebrand, it's absolutely... Oh, no, that was you. The Adventures of Bryn and Bana. The right leader makes all the difference in the world. I agree, especially when you have a leader that can just start tearing out huge segments of their expense base. When he has the power, when he has the mandate. It's the mandate that's really important. You can be a leader and not have a mandate and have all the best intentions in the world and be able to do nothing about it. Silas, Argentina is the largest IMF debtor. Egypt is next, but only has... Oh, I believe it. Yeah, totally. You got to realize they've been under the nutsack of the IMF for 100 years, right? So they fucked up big time. But now they're seeing trade surpluses, and they're seeing their deflation broke. Or their inflation broke, and they're actually seeing growth in some sectors of the economy. And for the first time in 30 years, they don't have food inflation. I mean, this is what you want. And then you have to realize just how amazing the country still is in parts, because this was America. This was richer than America for a period of time. So again, natural resources, political changes and stability that we're seeing, the break in inflation. There's so many reasons why you want to be invested in this, and I'm going to start. Anyway, I think that's it for this, guys. I'll probably jump out here. Thank you for the input from everybody, as always. And again, a few of you have been made mods in the Discord. Thank you very much for your assistance. The rules are listed up there. We're basically just trying to make sure people aren't doing crazy shit. And I'll continue. I've got to go in. Again, we've made a bunch of enhancements, guys, but I've got to go in and add all the charts for the crypto stuff. The stocks are looking great. Those should all be updated. I also fixed a bunch of broken links that were pointing to the wrong stuff. And I can see you guys in here just grinding it out and conversing through all these channels. I did want to mention a couple of things for you guys. Make sure you use the search in the top right corner to find things. If you type in, again, when I'm putting the portfolio stuff in here, I'm putting the stock identifier first and then the description afterwards. Same with crypto, same with stocks, same with bonds. So if you type in either the ticker symbol or the name, you should be able to find the source of it. Also, if some of these chats are just crazy, you can right click and mark as read. If you do that, it will allow you to shrink it up. And again, you'll be able to consolidate these. And I would keep the socials. I like the general chat. I think that's cool. My portfolio, definitely a big one. But you can shrink up some of these others until you need them. And I think that's a great way to do it. And then you don't have so much clutter. And it looks just a lot less crazy here if I do stuff like this. So now, again, this just doesn't look so overwhelming, does it? And again, also up here under the browse channels, you can select which channels you want to view. So if you don't care about the welcome or the background or these, you can uncheck them. You can uncheck everything that isn't applicable to you and just follow the ones you want to. That's another quick thing to learn. But yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, or if you have questions underneath general chat questions, just put them in here. And then the suggestion box, guys, if you have anything you want me to add, he put ARGT. You guys aren't fucking around. You're already hitting me up for MU and ARGT. I will work on it. Thanks, JD. Who's also an admin, I believe. I think I made you an admin. Is that what that means? I don't know. But yeah, but put them in the suggestion box, and we'll be happy to get to them between myself and admin wife. Okay, I love you guys. I hope you're interested in this, and if you're not, that's cool too. I am, and I'll be buying. Talk to you guys later.